Welcome to Board Ghost, a story broadcast with games as the engine.
If living is a highway, then heaven is a bus stop. Been waiting for a minute there, but has it been forever? 'Cause dying don't agree with me. No.
We believe you're out there, hungry for stories for shared experience. We can't see you, can't hear you, yet we will play for you. This night's offering is Starcrossed. To learn how we generate games playing Starcrossed, go check out our Starcrossed Rules Primer. Starcrossed was designed by Alex Roberts and was published by Bully Pulpit Games. So Alex also did For the Queen. You can listen to our interview with her, with our For the Queen episodes. And Bully Pulpit also does Fiasco and a whole bunch of other great stuff. So go check out both of those. Skeletons, for instance, another game of theirs that we play quite a bit. Cool. So our humble players are going to be two people. I'm going to be facilitating Starcrossed because it is a two-player game. Our humble players.
Ken Breeze. Hey, everybody.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Herx, back again.
All right.
Yay.
Welcome back, gang. Cool. So it's been a little while since we recorded, and neither of you guys have played this game before, but that's okay.
No.
I will walk you
But
through it.
I'm seeing my old nemesis, the Jenga Tower.
So we're going to go through setup real quick, gang. First, through setup, these are the things we're going to knock through. Decide what has brought our characters together, decide what is keeping them apart, going through sort of speaking from the heart and what that means, introducing the X card, introducing the concept of lead and follow, and then making our characters. So the reason's going to be the first thing. So you and your partner, that's the other person playing with you, will come, you guys need to come up with a situation where two people are irresistibly drawn to each other, but are prevented from expressing how they feel. What has brought them together? Your characters will be spending time in close quarters, probably alone for an extended period of time. So what is keeping them apart? Your characters need a good reason not to act on their feelings for each other.
Maybe space is super good, and then maybe we could be famous people because of our talent, some sort of talent we have, and we perform together or something like that.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
Something like that. And then that maybe that's going on.
Well, you
I don't
said
know.
you said Outlander.
I did.
So then I immediately went to temporal distortion.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like we're in space and it's like that episode of Star Trek where the fighter pilot just ends up on their ship and they got to bring him back to his time.
His time.
So
I think that's kind of a really good reason why we couldn't be together, right? It's
yeah.
like one of us would have to go back to our original time.
so we don't get busted by the time police,
Time police.
Yeah.
Yep.
which is
Yep.
a department
It
on
is.
Starfleet.
It is a time police. Yeah. Duh.
X card standard rules. Tap it, say I want X card, whatever you want to do, and we will find the point to jump off at a better place without worrying about that stuff.
Well, do you have a preference for follow or lead?
I'm really going down this rabbit hole of the Star Captain and the stuck time traveling someone that got
Yes.
stuck in
I like
a
that.
temporal
I like that a
something.
lot. I think
And
that's really
I think
good.
the captain should actually be the follow
Yeah.
because they're too professional
They're too-
to experience such feelings
Okay,
for
okay.
someone that they're supposed to be helping.
I mean, if we're doing classic Star Trek, that person has to be like a historical figure, obviously. Or something
Obviously,
like that,
yeah,
you know?
yeah, totally.
Unless it's the captain's younger self.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
no,
it's
no,
not
no.
that because that's the other one is like, okay, and then, well, yeah, who
Yeah.
cares? Yeah, there's so many ways I can go. And so it's like amazing.
And I kind of want to play the captain because I thought
That's
of a
fine.
really good
If
captain
you want to
name.
play the captain and play the follow, I'm super into that. I'm happy to play the lead.
Yeah.
And I'll play the time traveling lead. I probably will play female. That's probably how I'm going to go with this.
Okay, I was gonna
So-
play a dude.
Okay, then
Yeah.
that's great.
Amazing.
Okay.
So yeah, so
Wonderful.
you guys can grab your sheets.
Cool.
All right.
And so under Who Am I guess the captain and the traveler. And if the
Because that's so Star Trek too.
It is. It is. I'm giving my captain a name.
I will give my traveler a name as well.
How far can we go before this becomes intellectual property problems?
I'd say the more fun you have,
Yeah.
the better.
Great.
If we want to talk through, so is it like alternative spacey future? We're talking like Space Federation future, and then how far back is the traveler from? Like, is it somebody from a Da Vinci style like
No,
inventor who like
no.
whose
It's
invention
someone.
worked
It's
out?
someone from the Roaring Twenties.
Yes.
All right.
Wonderful. How did she get into this
I don't know.
wrong place, wrong time?
Space neutrons.
Yeah, or
Gigawatts.
right place, right time.
What has brought you together is that kind of working your way, like you're on the mission to go back to your time.
Yeah,
Is
we
that
gotta
the-
get
We're
her
on the
back
ship.
to her
We're just, I
time.
think we're just on. I think we're just on this huge ship.
Starship.
We're on
Yeah.
this huge starship.
While
and we're
while
going
while
back
the
to
entire crew works to figure out a way to get her
Exact-
back.
Well, it's like they went through a crease in time or something like that,
Yeah.
and then I popped up on the ship somehow.
It happens.
And
Look, it
hey,
happens.
it happens.
Okay.
Maybe
and
there
now
is
we're-
some weird entity that's involved.
Yeah,
who
and now we're
knows?
trying to figure out how to get you back because honestly, you could never survive in the 23rd century. Like
No.
and it may also be very
The
important.
diseases.
the diseases alone. But I mean, you wouldn't know how to order a sandwich.
Yeah.
It also could be that like you need to go back to your timeline and finish some very important historical
Oh
business.
yeah,
A
yeah.
very important
Yeah,
task.
I need
yes.
to get back to my children. Is what I wrote down. here.
Oh yeah. Oh goodness. Another reason. Well, you know,
No,
I'm a gentleman, so.
but they're not here.
Oh no.
That's right. What's keeping you apart is that you're going to have to release this person back
Yeah.
in time.
Yeah, I need
And
to go back in time.
And it would be unprofessional.
Okay.
It would be taking advantage of my position as the captain.
Next
True.
piece of character stuff is what is my most attractive feature? So this is the attractive what is most attractive about your character from their own perspective. It could be a physical trait, a personality quirk, a strength, a weakness, or something abstract.
I wrote down lips.
Space lips.
Space lips.
Oh, I just said confidence.
Yeah. Also, space lips. The next question gets answered by your partner, so you guys can swap papers here. What are two things about me that I don't realize are attractive? Ken, what is attractive in your character that you are not aware of?
The traveler has a sharp wit and a sense of right and wrong.
Okay, is that
A very-
clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Very modern sense.
Mhm.
I'd always heard that 21st century people were a bit
right.
archaic in their ways. Or 20th century. Gosh. I have a strong sense of honor, so it seems that we are attracted to similar things in each other. And broad shoulders.
On my
Yeah, so why
feelings.
can't you act on your feelings?
I can't act on my feelings because I need to get back to my children. A modern person, yeah, is like raising children on her own. So she needs to get back to her kids. She wants to take control somehow in the situation where she feels like she has no control, I guess. But also, I think there is a genuine sort of like interest and sense of adventure, I guess, to some degree. But I
Of
think
what?
that this fantastical thing has happened to her.
Why is it important that she go back to her children? Is it
No,
that like
I-
it's not that there's no one, but that there's a like is there a
Something-
rebellious streak to this? You know, it's a
it's-
woman in the 20s raising children on her own, and
I mean, I think that that's maybe it is like their safety is the only thing but I want to push away from that. Like, first what I had written down is like, I'm worried they're going to get killed by gangsters, but I feel like that's too easy and I kind of want to like
is
push
it that
push
like
maybe past that or away from that. I don't
the
know.
the grandparents, either the paternal or maternal grandparents, are these stodgy, like
Yeah.
like she had rebelled against them in the past, and she's
Yeah,
afraid that
yeah.
that the in her like she wants
Okay,
to have
yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
she
yeah,
was
yeah,
too
yeah,
modern
yeah,
for
yeah,
maybe
yeah,
she was
yeah,
too
yeah,
modern for her husband.
I like it.
He was like, you can't leave me because
Right.
like they're coming out of the Edwardian era,
I love
and
it.
and she was modern, and she was like, no, I'm gonna take my kids and
love
we're
it.
gonna
I'm gonna teach them how to live.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
teach them how to
so-
live. We're gonna go live in
exactly.
Greenwich Village.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the ex-husband's family will indoctrinate them.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Right.
basically where we're at, which I think is pretty good.
So mine is it would be unprofessional. The union of the cooperation of planets
Yes.
is very important to maintain because it's how we don't have wars and what have you. Maintaining temporal stability is one of the agreements of being part of this union.
Right.
So if I just flout that, I could get humans kicked out of the union.
Is there a personal stake for you? Like, is there like a personal story or history to your character that, like, that makes them a company person? You know, like,
Yeah, he's
like,
definitely
how
a
are they
company guy.
How are they like what what's their personal story that invests them in this? You know, is it a wharf where they were raised by Federation?
Maybe humans are new to the Union, and before that it was like war, and now that we're under the protection of this cooperation, other aliens can't bully us anymore because we have a whole
backing.
team, a whole union of a cooperation of planets on our side.
Cool. So were you in like a
Small
war?
colony, a small colony planet that was really badly affected in the crossfire
Cool.
of this war.
being not a captain of a peaceful sort of thing is pretty important.
It is important.
Yeah.
Being not to do with any war.
Right.
Being a captain not to do with any war is it's important.
I'll go through your moves in a second, but the first thing we're going to do is build the tower. So
Right.
the tower is stacked.
Uh-huh.
It's kind of not, you guys still have a line of sight to one another. That's important. Like the tower's not blocking your eyesight. What we're going to do first, before we even get going, is pull some bricks. Start with some holes in it. So you're going to take turns pulling 3 bricks each. Like, well, you can kind of go back and forth until there are 6 pulls total.
Okay. Before we get started, I would like the listening audience to know that John has rigged up this table on some very rickety
yes.
boxes, and so
Space age.
we're starting at a disadvantage with this Jenga tower.
We will start with the first scene.
All right.
An introduction.
An introduction.
Introduction. Well, I think if you just showed up on our ship and we don't know where you came from, we thought you were an intruder at first. I mean, your readings say human, but...
Are we meeting for the first time? The security crew is taking me to you?
Yeah,
And we're like meeting in...
or the brig or something.
You come to the brig?
Yeah,
Damn,
'cause-
I'm in jail? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because I mean,
I'm what?
I've got to see this.
You got to see this
Yeah.
human? Well, I've been identified as a famous jazz singer,
Oh,
Cindy Applebaum.
Cindy Applebaum.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I happen to love jazz.
Yeah, weird.
Obviously.
Weird.
As
You
a
love jazz of that certain era, of that
captain,
specific
I happen
era.
to be an expert.
You happen to be a true expert on the art form. That makes
course.
sense. That makes a lot
Yeah.
of sense. If you're such a jazz aficionado, you would then know that in history, Cindy Applebaum is killed in a fire. All right, so I'm in the brig,
Behind the force field.
behind the force field, exactly, and you're
Probably very
visiting me.
confused.
I have finally fallen asleep after this ordeal. The adrenaline wore off finally that I passed out. And so I am ragdolled on like a cot on the wall. Flowing, curly, bulging hair is sort of like spilling off the side of the cot. I have these like lush eyebrows, and as I sort of wake up, I'm like looking at you, and it looks like I'm trying to say something, but like there's this time distortion in my face where my mouth isn't working, and I can't like speak to you apparently.
My name is Captain Gregory Fine of the Federation Starship Phoenix. I demand to know how you got onto my ship and what you're doing here.
As she hears your voice, this distortion around her mouth seems to end, and she says, "Oh my God, I can understand you. I can't understand anyone else here."
So that's a reveal.
That's very interesting, but it doesn't answer my question.
What was your question again?
What is your name? And how did you come to be on my starship?
Well, my name's Cindy Applebaum, and I was at a club singing, and I went into the bathroom, and I got all woozy, and so I just went to the stall, and I just passed out, and when I woke up, I was here. That's why I'm in my this Saturday Night Special dress.
He takes in the name, and he knows he recognizes the name, but can't quite place it yet, and the pieces haven't quite come together yet. He steps forward, and he's a little curious that she seems so unruffled despite her story. Cindy Applebaum, not the jazz singer from the 1920s.
I think you've revealed something about yourself.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Mm.
That's an unintentional one.
So you heard of me, but I ain't heard of you, Captain. What's your name?
It's no secret. I already told you, Captain Gregory Fine of the Federation starship Phoenix.
Phoenix. Like the bird? Starship?
Oh, now you're starting to understand.
She collapses back into this bunk, seems to become very, I guess, distraught. As she's like, Jacob, Rachel.
Is she like collapsed?
Yeah. I would say she has collapsed onto her bunk.
She looks like the pictures, or the old
Hollow.
Hollywood
Yeah.
film that she's in 20 seconds of
Mhm.
archival footage.
Mm-hmm.
She looks like it. So either this is someone who has been genetically modified to look like her,
Mhm.
or she's telling the truth. It wouldn't be the first time something like this has happened.
That's true.
It's rare, but these things happen. And this lady is distressed. Captain Gregory Fine goes to the terminal and presses a few buttons, and the force field goes down, and he takes her by the shoulder and helps her stand. Like, ma'am, are you all right? It was an unintentional touch.
As the traveler sort of gets up, she's clutching to the captain's shoulders, and such broad shoulders. She's almost like hanging on there. She's like clutching closer and closer to him as she looks up, and she says, "Where in goddamn am I? What time is it?"
Gregory Fine kind of laughs that she's asking what time it is, of all questions. And he says, well, it's 0300 hours. That's 3 a.m. to you and me.
What are you, some sort of sailor?
Something like that. I sail in a ship of a sort, on a sea of a kind.
You sound like one of those army boys.
No,
Navy boys.
not the army. Never the army. Our business is not in war, but in travel and exploration.
Oh, like the merchant marine?
Sure. But I think more to your question, you might want to sit down for this, ma'am.
Are you guys still entangled too?
Yes.
Yeah. I helped her stand.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so as you help her stand, she sort of grabs you very firmly on each of the side of your shoulders as she straightens herself, but though using you almost for leverage.
Mm-hmm.
She's shorter than you, but she stands on her own 2 feet and she says, "No, I think I have to be standing up to hear this."
And that's an intentional touch.
Yes, it
You have
is.
to pull.
Yes, it is.
Well, Mrs. Applebaum, I'm afraid the answer to your real question is it's the year 2375.
Ain't that just a pickle?
And then the music shifts, and you see the spaceship. You see the spaceship go through the stars with some nice ambient noise. Yeah,
All right. So now we're going to move to scene 2. A little embarrassment.
you've been waiting on news of your status.
Okay.
And
Yes.
I have to tell you what we've found.
Cool. Maybe we're at like a science lab or something like that.
Yeah.
Can I propose to you that you are...
Okay, go on, John. Let me hear your
I'm just saying.
your
Oh.
dark take.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're going through holovids. You're seeing, you don't know how much you can decide how much you've learned.
Yeah.
Is it dangerous to learn about the past or your own
Mhm.
future?
Yeah, and I know that's where I'm
love
gonna
it.
find her.
No, I mean, I think that's exactly it. Okay, cool.
You're
cool. I
under
love it,
observation now.
Yeah,
instead of,
I have been
under
doing
observation.
research. I love it. Yeah. I love
Yeah.
it, John. I think that's perfect.
You've probably given a lot of videos from the 20s,
Yeah.
but there's not a lot of understanding of what is actually of the period.
At this point, we don't know if I'm ever going back, right? So it's almost like I'm trying to figure out what catch up. I'm a modern person, or I was at one point, and lost in the mire of the 20th and 21st
Yeah,
century.
there's some in between.
Science lab, we'd sort of talked
science lab.
about.
You would be under observation
Right.
now.
Yeah.
Right.
And so you're just kind of biding time, waiting between tests or whatever.
I think it would be embarrassing for her to find out what an admirer I am of her work. I'm not totally sure how she would find that out. Maybe if she saw my personal collection of 20th century videos that have a strong emphasis in the 1920s, and especially everything that she ever did.
Plus, she's your drag persona.
It was one show.
one.
It wasn't very good.
I'm working on it. I'm
Can't
working
sing,
on it.
But you were passionate.
but
Very
I was passionate.
There
And
was-
everyone just clapped
yeah, there was a
because they
third
felt bad
claps.
for me, and I was the captain, so they had to clap.
As the scan has been finished, the data is popping up. You're there, and obvious my heart was racing as like the doctor's like, "Oh, your heart rate is up for some weird reason."
That's no good. Do you have a history of increased heart rate?
This whole situation causes my heart to flutter. But I think she said that I'm fit as a fiddle. I'm just here, stuck. Here.
Well, Mrs. Applebaum, I actually wanted to let you know that we've made a bit of progress. We've finally figured out how you got here. The only trouble will be to reverse engineer that, or make it happen backwards.
Thank you, Captain. Everyone's been so kind, and you especially. Just your care and attention. But is this dangerous? I mean, give it to me straight. Do you think this can happen?
Well, clearly you made it here. I have every faith in our engineers and temporal scientists that we can find a way to get you back home to your time.
What you have here is like heaven. What it all does, where you are. I guess I can trust that you have the know-how to do this, but I am scared.
I think it's a personal reveal. That's a brick pull.
Guys, it's wobbling.
Wobble, wobble. Wobble, wobble.
Well, as a captain, I always say it's not a bad thing to be scared. It means you care about living.
I do. I have a lot to live for. And I'm happy to be alive. I hope this isn't just a dream. But everything I've been reading is just too much sometimes. Too much to contemplate.
And what reading material have you been given?
Well, my kids, they grew up. I tried to find information on them. And it's been tough to get details.
Oh dear. I'm so sorry. You should have been you should have been blocked from reading anything beyond your own time. You're not it's bad enough that you're seeing all this. You're not supposed to read anything. You didn't read anything about the rest of your century. I mean, that is I'm just going to not talk anymore. I cannot you shouldn't be reading about the future. It's not good for you. It could drive you mad.
I am so mad. Mad at what you're saying to me. You're trying to block me off from learning about what it is to be alive now. That can't be. People have been trying to shut me down my entire life. My parents, my husband, my ex-husband, that goddamn bastard dog. And I can't take it from you, Gregory. Not you.
You're right. You're right, of course. But I understand how it must seem to you, but he is embarrassed. He found himself in the uncomfortable position of having to explain to a very intelligent woman that she didn't deserve to know things that I had she didn't deserve to have knowledge that I had access to. The only thing that he could think to say to her was that she just had to trust that he knew best about this, and he suddenly he stopped himself from saying that because it was such a horrible thing to he heard it in his own voice before he said it, and it was such a horrible thing to say that he couldn't bear to let the words out, especially after what she'd said.
Beyond the like uncomfortable mid-pause sentence thing, is there also any sort of visual cue to his like face going flush? Or...
Yeah, his broad shoulders kind of sag. He takes a seat next to her little hospital bed that she's been sitting on. He looks a little confused and not happy with himself, and then he kind of like chuckles to himself, and he says, "Well, when you put it like that, when we get you back to your time, and we will manage to get you back to your time, you understand why you can't tell anyone what you've learned."
And before you make that move, I think you like have revealed something personal,
Ooh.
like sort of possibly unintentionally. We don't really know what, but
Yeah.
I feel like there was a unintentional reveal in there by kind of having a personal reaction and a
Yeah.
pause.
Lord.
Nicely done. You think anyone would believe me? They think I really was mad. No. And I lean my head onto your shoulder as I say, it's almost like weary. I know you only mean well, and you have my best intentions at heart. I need your help to get back.
That's an intentional touch, right? Or unless you want it to be your one unintentional touch.
No, it's
so you have a
I need a confidant.
She's leaning her head on Captain Gregory Fine's shoulder, and he straightens up very captainly, understanding that occasionally it falls within the purview of my duty to comfort the distraught. Nevertheless, his face becomes very flushed. He curtly pats her on the hand, which I know is an unintentional touch, and says, "Yes, and my help you shall have." And then he stands and nods his head and heads towards the door. And let's see if this intentional touch kills me. I have done it.
Yes.
Done. So scene 3 is finding common ground.
Well, to me, it means me making a jazz reference or you making jazz reference and us like sort of connecting
Yeah,
on that.
that's immediately my thought too.
So where are you and what is happening?
We are in 10 forward now, and I am
Yes.
performing.
Yes. It was at the doctor's recommendation.
Yes, the doctor's recommendation to lift my spirits and to acclimate me somehow.
The doctor, of course, knew who you were
course.
because she's an android.
Yes.
And she
Yes,
has a full
range
of
systems
music
and
from
music.
all planets.
Exactly.
and
And
she-
my DNA, technically.
And your DNA.
Yeah,
So she
my
knows that
DNA
you are
is-
who you
yeah,
say you are.
exactly.
Or at least you are a clone of
A
who
clone,
you say you are.
exactly.
But there's also
sort
some
of-
temporal distortions on
Yeah,
your skin.
exactly.
So
It's lots of weird
what
shit
have
going
you.
on.
Yeah,
And maybe the singing is part of the therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Therapy.
yeah.
Because you had your mouth
My
was
mouth
affected
was,
by
yeah.
the...
Yeah,
now
yeah.
That's going away a bit more. Now the time is passing, and I can,
You need a duet partner
yes. All right.
for one of your
All right,
songs.
yes, I need a duet partner.
And no one knows the music.
No one knows the music except for you,
And
Captain.
when you sing, you do have to touch the tower still.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand. I understand. This is before the song. We're like,
Right before you go on stage,
all right.
I'm going to wish you luck and also assure you that you don't have to do this if you don't want to.
Okay.
Right.
Backstage, yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Or
lead.
backstage, like in the
Yeah,
hall.
in the hall.
I like poke my head out of the hall and I see you kind of like preparing or whatever you're doing to go on stage.
No, I am preparing.
So
I'm like doing voice exercises, obviously, to prepare myself to sing. I am wearing this like gorgeous dress that's like sort of green sequins, almost like shimmering moss waterfall,
amazing.
and these strappy these strappy shoes, not boots.
like, that's a combination.
Yeah, these like strappy shoes, high heel shoes. They're also sort of
Space
sparkling.
boots.
Space boots. I only wear space boots now.
You'll get your
I found out Uggs exist, and now I only wear them.
You'll get your Federation space
I need
boots
my
and
Federation
like them.
Birkenstocks, exactly. So anyone get them wear.
think they have those
Yeah,
sequin
exactly.
uniforms.
That's the only way we can walk around the ship. Good thing.
No, you want strappy sandals? You get strappy sandals.
Strappy sandals.
We can
And so you stick your head out,
we can replicate that for you.
and I say, is it weird that I have butterflies?
Like I said, sometimes it's good to be afraid.
Then I feel good all the time.
He kind of chuckles a bit. Well, the accompanist is ready to go whenever you are. Ensign Rick is very excited to be playing these tunes for you.
That kid better have chops.
Well, I think you'll find that quite a few on our starships these days have plenty of time to practice their music.
Well, I'm just nervous. What if no one here likes what I have to sing?
No one like the great Cindy Applebaum? Unthinkable.
Well, I hope this kid can sing Blue Stars.
Your signature duet, of course. Well, I don't think the ensign is much of a singer. He more plays piano. Surely you can sing it by yourself.
Sing a duet by myself? This is my most popular song. I was hoping they'd remember.
That's a reveal.
Oh, Cindy, even if they don't remember that song, surely you can make new memories for everyone to latch on to. You're such a great performer.
I guess that's what this all is about, huh? New memories and a new life, maybe. And how do you know I'm a good performer?
Well, I've been an admirer of your work for years.
Is that, and
That's,
would that be your one intentional reveal?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
I think that would be my one intentional reveal.
Okay.
I say, oh, you, deep down, you're just a sweetheart, ain't you? Wish me luck, huh?
Wait, Cindy.
Yeah?
I'm,
What is it, Gregory?
I'm not much of a singer myself. I'm more of an orator when it comes to using my voice, but maybe I could test out my chops singing the duet with you.
Her eyes light up, and she said, that would be magical. I with the captain on my side, how can I fail?
I open the door for her and I gesture her in and I say, ladies first.
And she intentionally takes your hand, like, I'm leading you onto stage, like pulling you up, like almost like it's part of the surprise, causes the piano player to start playing, and she sings, blue stars sparkle to see, love to you it drew to me.
But now you got to draw, because that's an intentional
Yeah, that
touch.
was definitely
So
an intentional. That
intentional.
was very intentional. Piano plays a sad warble tune. My wish to be with thee so cordial.
I guess.
He's like, I swear that used to rhyme. I think I got the lyrics wrong.
But she covers it up.
Yeah,
and
great.
And so does the piano. It's a very forgiving piano player. Everyone's loving it.
Everyone's loving it, and
Claps all around.
yeah, and
Drinks,
I'm
claps.
gonna say that in the spirit of the moment, in the claps, I'm going to put my hand on her shoulder in a warm, affectionate gesture, and it is largely unintentional.
Okay.
And you know that you cannot touch me though you long
Oh,
to.
I long to.
Yes.
We'll interrupt our story here and continue in our next communique. I was one of your players, John Holt. You can find me on Twitter at Lord Joho. And most importantly, I keep stuff up on our Instagram at BoardGhost. That's it, right? Or board_ghost is our Instagram. And then we have a Patreon if you'd like to get episodes early, if you'd like to get access to the episode art in various like larger formats, and get some like exclusive how to play videos for these things. We might even start putting up some like VR 360 videos once I start playing with that a little more. So go check that out if you want to be in our Patreon. We really appreciate our patrons. So there you go. Ken, where can people find you?
Everyone find me, Ken Breeze, at Burling's Beard on Twitter, BERLINGS. I am a freelance dungeon master and content creator, writer in the New York area. If you've been at Gen Con, I hope we met. That would have been fun, I think.
So, and I have been and continue to be Kelsey Herks, also known as Zelma to my friends, and you're my friend, so you can call me Zelma. And you can find me at Z for Zelma on Twitter and Instagram. And my theater company, Little Flame, has a Shakespeare podcast up right now called Best Shakespeare Podcast.
Nice.
And it's just me and my best friend shooting the shit, talking about Shakespeare. All about Shakespeare, everything you could ever imagine, listener questions, that sort of thing.
Cool.
So check it out.
All right. And is there a website, or are you guys figuring it out?
We're still figuring it out. We're new, but by the time this is up, there should be a few episodes up.
Cool. Well, to find out more about that sweet new podcast and all the stuff that we got going on elsewise, go to boardghost.com. We'll have links to everybody's info and what's going on there, and you can learn more about the sweet games that we've been playing, more about Starcrossed and other games. So yeah, you can attempt to pierce the veil and contact us. We're on Twitter at BoardGhostWorld. Shout out through the ether if you have desires we can fulfill. We'd like to thank Pat Couples for our theme song and interlude music. You can find more about Pat at patcouples.tumblr.com or on his band's website, hotelsandhighways.com. If you're not alone in the void, share our stories. The more they're consumed, the truer they become.
'Cause dying don't agree with me, no. 'Cause dying don't agree with me.